Today on Cityline, have you heard of a comic strip called Secret Asian Man? It has fans across the country, and we'll meet the creator of this popular and groundbreaking strip today on Cityline. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cityline. I'm Karen Holmes Ward. Later in the program, why are Asian Americans succeeding but not rising to the top in corporate America? But first, since its appearance in 1998, Secret Asian Man has gone from a monthly two-page comic in a local arts magazine to a weekly comic strip with a total circulation of over 250,000, making it the country's first widely printed comic strip featuring an Asian American leading character. Tak Toyoshima is the creator of Secret Asian Man, and he lives in Dorchester and is the art director for the alternative news weekly, Boston's Weekly Dig. Welcome, Tak. How are you today?
Great, I'm doing great.
Tell me a little bit about the character Secret Asian Man. Where did you come up with the concept for this?
Secret Asian Man is basically, it's a weekly comic strip, and it started out mostly as a kind of a personal platform for myself, just to throw out just kind of observations I've had growing up in New York City, just about the experience of growing up Asian American and how it kind of made me feel growing up in a culture where on TV, in the movies, things like that, I didn't see familiar faces. And just as a reaction to that and kind of feeling like there was a lack of representation out there, I felt like I needed to put something out there.
Not only not familiar faces, but hardly any faces, I would imagine.
Correct. And when you did see them, they're in very stereotypical roles. A lot of kung fu movies are coming up then. Bruce Lee.
The bad guy in the Bond movies.
Exactly.
Right?
Or Flash Gordon, Ming the Merciless. So, there was a lot of these kind of images, but nothing really positive. So when I started out, it was mostly very autobiographical. A lot of personal experiences from things like summer camp, things like elementary school. Just growing up with even, inter-Asian experiences where I grew up in Chinatown. I'm Japanese. A lot of my Chinese friends thought that I was Chinese as well. And once they learned I was Japanese, most of them were okay with it. But every now and then I would experience, only afterwards I would understand. I would go to a friend's house and a parent would kind of not want me around. And so I didn't understand at first. And only when I thought of it later, it kind of made sense to me.
Now, you say you grew up in New York City, right in the area of Soho, Tribeca, Chinatown, Little Italy.
Correct.
Talk a little bit more about how that diverse neighborhood impacted the stories and the storylines that you have in Secret Asian Man.
Right. It's definitely Manhattan. It's just a cultural soup of all these different people. And still, seeing that was my real life, my day-to-day. I would walk around and I would feel not out of place. But then when it came to things like media coverage and just things like that, that's when I started to really think about, well, why is what I'm seeing there not reflected but what I'm seeing in real life?
So there's some political commentary in this column as well.
Right. Correct. You're looking at the going to elementary school and seeing the wall of presidents, and they all look the same, pretty much, and you kind of go on thinking that it's going to go like that forever.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to see a different kind of face up there.
Have things changed for Asians in the media since you first began writing the column?
I think they actually have. I think they've gotten a lot better. When I started about 6-7 years ago, it was almost a vacuum. There was no faces on, and except a few anchors, maybe. But beyond that, exactly. But beyond that, it was still pretty much allocated to the martial arts movies. It's the restaurant owners, the ninja movies and things like that, which is fine because it's all a progress. It's got to start somewhere and just keep building. What I'm interested in is not necessarily just standing on one side of the fence. I kind of want to be a bridging text, I guess. Between the two, and I don't want to necessarily, because I understand both sides. I understand, issues like affirmative action, where on the one hand you have a group saying that there's some sort of entitlement or some sort of retribution to be had there. On the other side, you have families whose kids are being denied college scholarships because they're going to somebody else who supposedly deserves this scholarship more than they do. So I can understand both sides, and I like kind of exploring those issues where you can take one side or the other, and usually people are very strong-minded about which side they're on.
Sure, sure. Now, in the 1 minute that we have left, tell me where the title Secret Asian Man came from. I'm an avid TV watcher. I think I have an idea, but why don't you tell me?
Secret Asian Man came from, it really was a play on words from the Johnny Rivers song, the Secret Asian Man, Secret Agent Man. But I found over the years that a lot of people have actually taken to that moniker and have used it in websites or as their email names or things like that. So it's interesting to see that I'm not alone in hearing that. And a lot of people have misheard that lyric for years. So.
And thought it was Secret Asian Man.
Exactly.
And didn't realize it was Agent Man.
Exactly.
Now, very quickly, do you get a lot of mail from people that read the strip?
I do. I get a good portion of mail, and it's pretty split between the fan mail and the not-so-fan mail. But it's also surprising to see who writes those on both sides. You would think that most of the support would come from the Asian American community, when in fact sometimes it isn't. And sometimes I'll get some pretty venomous emails and things like that from that side. On the flip side, exactly. On the flip side, it goes. I'm always surprised at who's writing, and it's funny that almost everybody qualifies who they are and what they are in their letters, like as a single white suburban female, and then they go on.
Well, we are going to look forward to watching the strip. Tak, thanks very much for joining us. We want to let you know that Tak often gives talks around the city about his work and Asian American issues that pertain to his work. His next event is at the Cambridge Center for Adult Education on May 21st. Check out www.ccae.org for more information. And when we come back, a new book enlightens us on what is happening to Asian Americans in corporate America.